Hey everyone! Today I have a hip sequence that I want to share with you for people who tend to deal with some tight hips. Okay, so we'll just go right ahead and get started. Okay, we're going to start in a child's pose. So coming onto your knees. Let your toes touch each other, but the knees can be about hips distance or a little bit wider. Okay, sit your hips towards the heels. We're going to walk the hands forward. Get really long in your arms and then bring your forehead down to your mat. We'll just take a few deep breaths here. If your hips do not touch your heels, that's okay. They can be slightly lifted. That's absolutely fine. Start to focus awareness, attention on your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Nice and slow. Observing how your body feels in this posture, in this moment. All right, let's go ahead and lift the head. Okay, come onto your hands and knees. So we're lifting the hips so that the hips are right above the knees, the shoulders above the wrist. Okay, we're just gonna make small little hip circles by shifting the hips forward, to the right, to the back, to the left. Okay, continue a few more of these and maybe you might want to start making bigger circles if that feels nice. Okay, try not to go too fast, but be mindful of each little movement. All right, go ahead and change the direction of your circle. So now we're going left, back, right, and to the front. All right, couple of more on your own. Again, feel free to make bigger or smaller circles. It's really up to you. And just notice how that feels for you. All right, let's come back to center. Walk your hands forward one tiny step. About half a hand's distance is enough. Open all 10 fingers wide. Toes on the ground, lift your knees, and let's send the hips back for downward facing dog. Okay, from here, we're just gonna move the legs a little bit by bending the knees one at a time, nice and slow. Or you can even shift the hips side to side, nice and slow. And again, just observing all the sensations in your body, especially the hips. Take a couple deep breaths. Okay, let's slow down the movement in your downward facing dog. A little bend in the knees is absolutely fine. Okay, now from here, bring your feet together so that they are touching each other and lift your right leg back and up behind you, up towards the sky. Okay, it doesn't have to be very high. Just do your best, keep it straight and strong. Okay, now keep that leg lifted, bend the right knee, and now allow your knee to start to point to the right and then start to point up towards the sky. And then allow your right toes to stretch over towards the left side of the room. Continue to push really hard down through both your hands. And now if you feel like adding a bit of movement, your right knee can start to make slow circles. Drawing circles and then changing directions, of course, of your circles. Okay, let's straighten the right leg, send it up towards the sky again. Lift your left heel. And then slowly step your right foot up in between your hands. It might take you a few steps to get there. You might need the help of your hand to bring that foot forward. Okay, and then lower that left knee down to your mat. Okay, shift the hips forward. So ideally, I want my right knee on top of my heel. If it's a little bit forward, that's also okay. Okay, and then bring both your hands on top of the right leg. So here I want to keep thinking about shifting my hips forward so that I can feel the stretch on the front side of my left hip where my pocket would be if I was wearing jeans. All right? So as the hips are shifting forward, I'm drawing in my lower belly and lifting up through my chest. Breathing here. So this is a really nice posture to do for people who tend to sit in a chair all day because this part would be flexed and contracted all the time, right? So we're giving it a chance to open and release. Continue for a few more deep breaths. Enjoying your stretch. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. All right, let's go ahead and put the hands on the ground. Now heel toe your right foot over to the right. just a couple steps. And then bring your right hand on the inside of the foot. Okay, both hands are on the ground. Okay, and my right foot, I want the whole foot also pressing into the mat. Okay, you've got the option to stay right here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, we can go ahead and put the right and then the left elbow down onto the mat. All right, if this is too much for you right now, it's fine. You can stay on your hands, also okay. All right, just a few breaths in our lizard stretch. Okay, now if you're on your elbows, you can go ahead and come back up onto your hands. Now we're gonna get ready for that pigeon pose, heel toeing your right foot over towards the left a few steps, and allow your right knee to drop to the right so that the knee is towards the right edge of your yoga mat. Okay, if possible, you can kind of scoot your left knee back another step and straighten out your left foot. Okay, come onto your fingertips and take an inhale to lift your chest. Okay, if the hips are feeling like it's still super tight here, I might put a towel or a book or a block under my right hip just to give me a little bit more support. Okay, on your next exhale, come on down to your elbows and we'll breathe here. Okay, so here I want to make sure that back leg stays straight. Sometimes we have the tendency to start to flip that leg out. Okay, if that's happening to you, just be mindful of it and bring your left thigh onto the mat. Okay, just a few more deep breaths. Usually if I have the time, I like to stay in this posture for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, right? If you have that kind of time. But just for this video, because I'm sweating and I can't stay too much longer, I'll just stay for 2 more breaths. Okay, so bear with me. Deep breathing. All right, next inhale, let's come up onto our hands. Curl your left toes into the mat. Lift your hips and then slowly send your right leg back to downward facing dog. And when you're back here, go ahead and just move the legs a little bit just to get all that blood flowing back through again. Okay, now we're gonna get ready to do that whole sequence on the other side. So bring your feet together, take an inhale and stretch your left leg up towards the sky. Okay, keep that leg lifted. Bend your left knee. So the left knee is gonna start pointing towards the left side of the room, and then slowly let your left knee start pointing towards the sky. Allow your left toes to stretch to the right side of the room a bit more, and we're breathing here. All right, option to start drawing little circles with that left knee. And of course, changing directions of that circle. Okay, let's straighten out the left leg. Take an inhale, lift your right heel, and then exhale nice and slow. I step my left foot forward in between my hands. Take your time to get there, and then lower the right knee down onto the mat. Okay, again, I want to think about shifting my hips forward, and then I'm going to bring both hands on top of the left leg. Drawing the lower belly in, lifting up through the chest, and breathing here. So now feeling the front side of that right hip getting nice and open. 3 deep breaths. 2 more deep breaths. Take 1 more inhale. All right, exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Okay, we're gonna start to heel toe that left foot over towards the left a bit so that both your hands are on the inside of your left foot. Okay, stay here for a moment, preparing for that lizard pose. All right, again, we've got the option to take the elbows down onto the mat or stay with the hands on the mat if that's a bit too much. Okay, a few deep breaths here. Breathing in and out through your nose. And just observing all the sensations in your body. All right, if your elbows are on the mat, go ahead and take your hands back onto the yoga mat, lifting the chest. Now start to heel toe your left foot over towards the right a few steps, and allow your left knee to gently drop towards the left edge of the mat. Maybe scooching that right knee back a bit if you need to. Pigeon pose. Take an inhale, lift your chest. If you need that support, again, place something under your left hip, no problem. And then exhale, let's come on down to the elbows. Okay, keep your back leg straight. And again, be mindful that your right leg isn't rolling out to the side. Okay, so we wanna kind of create a little bit of internal rotation in that right leg, so the right thigh is on the mat. A few deep breaths here. Breathing in and out through your nose. We'll stay for 3 more deep breaths. Two more deep breaths. All right, on your next inhale, bring your hands back onto the yoga mat. Okay, curl your right toes onto the ground, lift your hips, and send that left leg back to downward facing dog. Again, you're welcome to take any movements here, maybe wiggle out the legs, shake out the hips gently. Okay, now we're gonna get ready to sit down. So lift the heels, look forward, and then walk your feet to the front of your mat, crossing your ankles, and then lower your hips down. Have a seat. Okay, now here, we're just gonna end with one last posture called Barakonasana, bound angle pose, also known as the butterfly position. Okay, so we're gonna bring our feet together so that the blades of your feet touch, and then the knees kind of just open out. If this is getting really intense for you, you can also take pillows or books or blocks and place it under your legs on each side for a little bit of support, okay? I don't have that with me right now, so I cannot show you. All right, keep your hands on your feet, draw in your lower belly, take an inhale to lengthen your spine, lift up through your chest. And then as you exhale, you have the option of starting to slowly fold forward. Okay, maybe just a tiny bit might be enough for you. Maybe you want a little more. Maybe after a few breaths, you can start to walk your hands forward. How far forward is really up to you. All right, so you want to find that sweet spot where you're not killing yourself, but at the same time, feeling a, pretty deep stretch there. Right, we've moved our hips for quite a bit of time now, so just notice how they're feeling now compared to at the start of the class. Okay, we'll just take a few more deep breaths here. If you wish, you can crawl your hands forward 1 more centimeter. Just really enjoy that hip stretch. All right, on your next inhale, if your hands are in front of you, you can start to walk them back towards your feet. And then exhale, bring your legs together. Okay, give your legs a hug and just relax your head down for a moment. Take a deep breath here. Okay, all right, so that concludes our short hip sequence for today. Thank you for joining. Let me know if you have any feedback or if you have any recommendations of other topics that you would like me to explore. So yeah, if you like this channel, please subscribe, please share with your friends, and watch more of my videos. I'll catch you all next time. Thank you.